I'm recording the evolution of technology as has happened in a household. Since my dad was in Africa since the 1950s, he brought a lot of things which were initially pioneering technological features of that particular era. Here is the Philips radio. The radio is today extinct. This is a museum piece. This Sanyo 2-in-1 was the first 2-in-1 of its type produced in the 1970s and imported into Mombasa, Kenya. It was brought from Kenya into India, and it was a big attraction during its time. I remember carting it for a lot of picnics during my Mazgon Dogs days. It has seen a lot of picnics, and also I heard the running commentary of Sherga when it won the Derby, the Epsom Derby, by a record. Here is a Remington typewriter. Dad was a clerk in British India Steam Navigation, and writing was his feature. So I don't know why he had a passion for typewriters, and this was the one which he used. And here is the one that he bought in spare. It is a brand new Remington typewriter, brand new, not used by me. I think so his son would take up to be a clerk. He thought, I think so, that his son Rudolf Furtado would take up his profession as a clerk, or would at least use the typewriter. But luckily I have taken up to writing, and the computer is my typewriter. Generation change. Of course, who knows, if I was in his era, I would have been typing. This is a brand new typewriter, unused, totally unused by me. I don't know, somehow I didn't have a passion for typing. Although today I use the computer more than a typewriter. Here, complete with the catalog, absolutely unused. I intend donating it to a museum so that future generations can remember what a typewriter looked like. Today no one knows what's a typewriter, besides a few of lawyers' clerks. Of course I would have been a lawyer, I think so. This was a toy. This was a gunboat given to me by one of Dad's colleagues. I still remember his name, Mr. Homi Contractor, from whom I learned a bit of the share marketing trade. I owe a bit of the enthusiasm and my success in shares. I mean, he got the passion into me, you see. He was Dad's colleague working in BI Steam Shipping Company in Mombasa. That's me, taken in Bangkok. This was a camera. I thought of becoming a photographer just out of college in 1978, and I also tried in the JJ School of Arts. I'd given an admission test as a photographer, which I failed. I don't know whether it was JJ School of Arts which lost a good photographer, or I found a good profession. Anyway, my photographs are today doing quite well. Most of them are in the Wikipedia Commons, and they made Mata Hari quite famous, as well as my traveling photos. Here is the clock. This is a very famous clock. It was a typical alarm clock. Today totally outdated. In the age of cell phones, it is totally outdated. Of course, this is all my collection. The era of telephones is today gone. This was the oldest phone. This was the small phone from which I made quite a few calls on radio interaction with the music channels, requesting for songs. Here is the Philips. Can you see this thing today? It's like a Picasso. Oh, I can't forget this radio. This 2-in-1 has very, very memorable and precious memories, you see. Very memorable. It lasted quite some time. It was the first of its type. First of its time. Made in Japan. These are the tapes. These are the tapes. This is the Grundig tape recorder, the first of its kind in the 1960s. You must have seen them in movies. Today it's only seen in movies, but this is the original authentic Grundig tape recorder, which was a raving hit during the age of the Beatles, Elvis Presley and Cliff Richard. This is the akin. This is my akin. Dad bought it for me in 1970s. At that time it was quite a fancy item. Here it is from a distance. This hunting knife I purchased in West Germany during my shipping, when I was in shipping. It was from the port of Rostock, I think so. A ship had docked at Rostock and I purchased this. It's a deer's foot, I think so. That time, of course, wildlife was not enforced or anything. I'm talking about the days when wildlife was still, hunting was still allowed. This is my dad. It's an army knife. This is the collector's items. This is a total commando knife. This is from the Dead Sea, stones from the Sea of Galilee and Dead Sea. I've outdone my dad in the sense I've almost traveled the world. Few people have traveled as much as I have. That's one thing I'm very proud of. For a working class person, few people have traveled as much and as hectic as I have. Here is a Grundig. Yes, the Grundig. I'm just recording this for posterior generations. At least the next generation would know how something like this looked like, you see. This is my worldwide tours. Here's my mom. This is dad. That's it. Just memories for another day.